What's going on, everybody? It's Falchion with you once again. And once again, we are here for another episode of Borderless Gaming GSA. This is episode 14, take 2, because we started it and I forgot to actually hit go live. So
we're missing somebody, though.
And we lost Geek somehow in all of this. Says his devices are not connected. I think he's trying to
get his
green screen working. So, but today here with us is Plank of He Got a Knife. Say what's up to the people, Plank.
Hello, everybody. Live from somewhere. It is Plank.
And we wanted to bring him on to clear up some things about his show on the network. So we'll do that in just a bit. But I did have a suggestion from Ian McLovin. Otherwise, in the chat, you guys would probably know him as J Law. And his suggestion was that we start the show every week with a little gaming history, fact about history, what happened this day, today being April 11th in history. So did you know? Well, you do now. You already do, because we got this very far in the show. Did you know that today in history, 15 years ago, today in gaming history, Tomb Raider Legends came out on the PC, the Xbox 360, and the PS2.
It's weird that it's the Xbox. Let's say so. The
Hey,
Xbox
Andrea.
360. Hey, Andrea. The Xbox
What's going on,
360 and the PS2.
Yeah, so it was
close to each other.
Yeah, so okay, this gets confused, right? And I'm actually glad you mentioned it, right? So this gets confused by especially a lot of younger gamers. A lot of people think that the Xbox and the PlayStation brands are about the same age. They're not. PlayStation is way older than Xbox, right? So when you guys when you hear things about and we're definitely going to talk about this a little bit later in the show, but when you think about like the console wars or whatever, a lot of people, especially younger people, because they weren't around for all this, think that the games, the consoles came out around the same time, and that's not true. But the 360 came out at, if I remember correctly now, don't quote me on this because this is actually kind of surprising that you brought it up, but really good. What's going on, Evil? The 360 came along around middle to end of the PS2's life cycle, or that generation, or what have you. So yeah, so when you think about it and you think, well, the PlayStation, well, we'll get into that in a little bit later.
I was only going to say that my big comment was going to be that the Tomb Raider titles, I didn't know there were too many of them on PC. I know there was that the more recent ones were on PC, but I didn't know there were too many other titles of Tomb Raider on PC. The only reason I knew about that one Tomb Raider because I got it with one of my video cards for free. So that was back in the day.
See, now back then for me, I wasn't gaming on PC yet. If you think about it, right, you and Gherkin got me gaming on PC in the early days of the Xbox One, I want to say. Yeah. Maybe late, like end of 360.
Well, I think you had the PS3 when you really kind of started stepping into the PC era.
Right. So, okay. So, yeah. So, kind of crazy. Geek says he'll be right back.
Because I remember you having that giant toaster oven for a console.
Right, right. So yeah, so today in history, 15 years ago, Tomb Raider Legend won all major consoles and PC. Well, except for Nintendo, I guess, because Nintendo got
Tomb Raider Legends. I'm trying to. I don't even know if I know that title. To be
I don't,
honest, was she still polygons, or was she finally smoothed out by then?
good question. I really have no idea. That's crazy though. But since we do have you here, Plank, we wanted to talk to you about your show on the channel. He Got a Knife. A lot of people were confused about, and this is my fault, and I do apologize. I guess I confused a lot of people with what the channel is about. The channel isn't just about playing video games or or video game news. It is what gamers do in their lives. So, you can expect to see things especially with hopefully COVID coming to an end. I want to show you guys things that we do outside of the house or whatever. And as far as that goes, Plank, I guess unknown to everybody except for me, is a great chef. And so, why don't you tell them what you're all about, what your contribution to the channel is all about?
Well, I will be the first to tell you that I am not a chef. All right, I do take advice from a lot of chefs, but for the most part, I'm a decent cook. I didn't get this heavy being a horrible cook. At this junction in my life, I thought I'm at a giant weight loss in my life. I underwent some surgery for weight loss, and it has forced me to change the way that I am handling myself and my diet as it goes. My dog is going to bark the entire time. I have this door closed. No, but so in that sense, I decided that it would be a great idea to look at how gamers who we are notorious about eating poorly. Yeah, I mean, we barely take the times in our lives to take care of ourselves and to keep up with ourselves because we're so focused in the grind of gaming. Yeah, but I wanted to be able to show people that not only can you cook healthy, but you can cook healthy quickly so that you can get back to whatever it is that you're doing as long as you come in with that mindset. And a lot of us gamers, there's no reason why we aren't able to handle a knife. We have all the hand-eye coordination in the world. We should be able to handle a knife. So part of this is just to show people there's a healthier way of living versus ordering out all the time than to going to McDonald's or Burger King and stuff like that you can eat healthier, smaller portions, and doing better to your body and treating your person better. So as it goes, I record live on Twitch, twitch.tv/PlankGJE. And then after the live shows, I give you guys the recorded videos and you guys post them here.
Right.
And I also post them on my Instagram. I believe that's Plank101, all the videos. I've yet to sit down and put down all the recipes, but for the most part, I talk about everything that I do to the dishes and show for the dishes. So if you really want to see me screw up some dishes sometimes, you can always come by the channel and see me do it before I give it to you guys and it's a little bit more edited. But I definitely had a few run-ins with things. And my chef consultant, Chef Dan's, will tell you I mess up quite a few times.
Where is she today? I didn't see her.
She's around. And J-Law, yeah, those eat fresh meals, like I've even done those. My wife has ordered those, and I've looked at that, and um, even there's room for improvement. Yeah, we need to be healthier. Um, and as gamers, we need number one thing for gamers, is that we need to be hydrated. We need to drink water.
Oh
and
Lord,
I know. Fauci's going to tell you he hates water. I
hate
don't know
water.
about Geek, but you need to stay hydrated. And that's the number one thing that we as gamers need to do. And I hope, just like Falchion, that we're able to expand what gamers do outside of the gaming chair. Yeah.
Right,
We
right,
all live lives, and what else goes on in our lives as gamers um, to help support our gaming habits.
right,
Yeah. We didn't get to this point just by waking up in the morning and then sitting in front of the screen.
right. And so that is really my fault. I didn't express well enough, apparently or obviously, what this gaming channel is about, and it's not just about playing games. It is about gamers' lives, and as well as this is, and I hope that everyone understands that I want this to be a place where if you feel like you have a voice that's not being heard, you want to shoot us a video or something, I'm happy to put it on the channel, as long as it has to be within the guidelines of YouTube or what have you. And I would prefer for it to be related to your gaming life, I guess. But it doesn't even really have to be so strongly that. Just you as any pretty much. I just want you guys to know that as gamers, we have lives, and if you have a life that you want to speak about, I am happy to give you a platform and let you grow. A lot of people don't know that, but Plink and I have a really huge history. You know about Geek and I, my history, and Geek and I, our history is all about gaming or whatever. But Plink and I, we met um, back
Years ago.
probably around the mid '90s or something. And when I moved down to where he lived and took a job down there, and eventually I ended up working for him at Taco Bell. We ended up we were roommates for a long time, and we've just been tight ever since. Like so. And we were great. We were gaming on the original PlayStation.
Yep.
When we got home from work, playing Bushido Blade.
Yep.
I remember that like with great fondness. So yeah, the channel is about gaming, but it is also about the gamers and what we as gamers are doing. And again, the weather's getting good, and people are going to be doing things outside of their houses. And I want to let you guys know what we're doing. Even I was hoping Geek would like take us on some rides in his job, as his job outside of gaming is driving. So Evil says that he's bad for just eating out while gaming. It's such an easy habit to get into, and yeah, and that's what Plank is talking about right there, like breaking that habit.
Breaking that cycle and trying to eat healthier. And check out the videos sometime and see if there's something there that you like. Maybe it's something that you're capable of doing and you didn't think about it at that time. But
Yeah,
I've gotten a lot of reaction from the videos. It's a lot of support. I had a challenge last week. Wait, not last week, week before last, from another gaming group that put forth a challenge to me to put together a dish using random ingredients. I think they're going to vote on that this weekend to find out who won that challenge. But yeah, I really appreciate the support and the commenters out there that have let me know that they appreciate what I'm doing. And a lot of it I would say not just even if you're not just watching for the videos to know about the recipes that I'm cooking, I did get a comment on technique of what I was doing, and that's kind of important when cooking is technique. That's one of my biggest conversations that I have with my chef is technique and cooking, because some dishes require a certain amount of technique, almost like gaming where you need to know combos. Yeah. So, or key functions. And so those techniques help us produce better meals, better results. Everything is eating is visual as it is with taste. Yeah. So if you're going to put together a crappy looking dish, it's not going to taste well. So you need to know those techniques.
So yeah, that hopefully I hope helps everybody to understand, where Plank. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Where Plank is coming from as far as a cooking show on the channel. I hope here very soon to show you the things that I do outside of this chair. And like I said, I'm hoping that Geek is going to let us a little bit into his life, like what he does for his job, because I think that would be an interesting thing to see, like what he's doing during his job as he's driving or what have you. But I guess we will see what happens with that. But yeah, more than just gaming, more than just reporting on gaming news. This channel is about the gamers and what we are all doing, including you guys. That actually reminds me, I want to thank Jay Law for welcoming myself and my wife into his new home yesterday. We hung out as I had to deliver something up his way in Maryland, and so yeah, thank you for that.
He's in Maryland.
Yeah, J Law.
Did you take him some Old Bay seasoning? Because they put that shit on everything. Oh, sorry about the language.
No, you're good. You're good.
Put it on everything.
I have to talk about. He is the one that needs your show more than anything. He eats macaroni and cheese every meal.
With Old Bay seasoning.
Don't eat nothing else. Just mac and cheese. And I think he does it without the cheese or something. He has no taste. but yeah, actually, so if you guys don't know, I put it out there a while ago, and I think mainly people didn't really take it seriously, or thought I was joking or whatever. But I took him a PS5, not him, but his cousin. So I delivered a PS5 up there to his cousin. And I said in the past that if you're looking for one of these systems, I will help you get it. But I of course, I can't afford to buy people a system. But if you're willing to pay for it or whatever, then I will do what I can to help you get one. And I was lucky enough to be able to score his cousin a PS5, who had been talking to me about and keeping me vigilant on grinding to find him a PS5, and I was able to do that. Actually, a buddy of mine, it's funny, a buddy of mine won a PS5 from 7-Eleven, and is so much in the Xbox fanboy space that he didn't want it. He didn't even open it. He just put it in his closet. He was like, I got a PS5. If you know anybody that wants one. And I was like, yeah, I'll take it. And I'm not looking to make any money off of it. If you want a PS5 or a Xbox Series or whatever, and I happen to come across one, if you're willing to pay what I have to pay for it and what I have to do to get it to you, then I'm willing to help out with that, if I can. So yeah, that's why we rode up to Maryland. It's not between he and I, where we live is only a few hour drive, so it wasn't that big of a thing. Like I can't be going like 10 hours to
traveling up to Minnesota. They're gonna bring a PS5.
I mean, if you want one, I find one, I can surely mail it to you. But that was easy. J Law had been inviting us to come see his house, anyways, and his new place, and I wanted to do that, and it was just a perfect opportunity for all of that. So, again, J Law, thank you for welcoming us into your home, and it's a beautiful home. I'm really jealous. Like, I thought I had a great game room, and he hasn't gotten his set up yet. As too early for that, but the space that he has, with a wet bar and a standard bar, and even a whole other room. I mean, I have a whole other room, but his whole setup dwarfs mine. He has spaces in the wall cut out specially for like 5 monitors, and I'm talking like 70-inch spaces. So
Wow.
like, man. Like, seriously, he's set up. He just has to get it done. So, but that's projects for him, and congratulations on that. And again, thank you. I really appreciate it. I really had a good time. His wife hooked up some really nice tacos that I unfortunately didn't get to eat myself because my eating habits are weird, and I only eat once a day, and so I was really like not feeling well, or was just really feeling full from eating breakfast on our way out, unfortunately. But my wife loved it, so yeah, it was a good time. So you guys ready to get into some news?
Yeah. Let's do this.
Geek, are you with us? You just going to be the cartoon head today? Is that?
Yeah, it looks like I'm having that problem that you were having when trying to switch cameras.
Got you. Cool. All right. So Hori Akuma brought this to my attention. And why is it not showing?
I don't know.
It's showing in the showing in the bottom ticker. Yeah, everything is all. Look, I've been away for a couple of shows, and I don't know how to do anything. There's a rumor going around that Kojima is in talks with Xbox for his next title. Now, if you don't know who Hideo Kojima is, he is most famous for the Metal Gear Solid series. You will also know him from what a lot of people call the walking simulator. That is,
I have that game. I forget what it is, but it has
yeah,
from Walking Dead in it.
Yeah.
Norman Reedus.
Yeah. Wow, we can remember the actor's name, but we can't remember the name of the game. It is wow.
Hold on.
Here, I can just show you a picture because I have it queued up right here. Let me share this screen. Wow, this is bad. I can't believe I don't remember.
I'm working on it.
Wow, thank you, Death Stranding. Yes, I could not bring that up in my mind. So a lot of Sony fans are taking this as like this is some like big hit to them because they are used to Kojima working with Konami, who works very closely with PlayStation. But as a lot of people will know if they stick to this news, Kojima and Konami had a big falling out, and Kojima's got his own studio now, and he did produce from his studio Death Stranding for PlayStation, but he's not beholden to them. He's not under their banner. He's just a free agent, and I guess whoever is willing to pay the money he's willing to make a game for them because he's always looking to make great games. And I honestly believe I can't think of any Kojima game that I've ever played that hasn't been a great game in my humble opinion. But what do you guys think about that? Him working for Xbox now, like as an exclusive or making an exclusive game for Xbox.
Geek, you want to step in there before I do?
That next game that's supposed to be a Xbox exclusive, I believe it's game by game what's exclusive.
Right.
Kojima, he made his name in PlayStation. Well, that was Konami, but he made his name in PlayStation. And then when everything went down with that separation, well, right before the separation, actually, he made Metal Gear Solid, and he started making it for all the platforms. Well, no, he didn't make it for PC. He made it for PlayStation and Xbox.
That's right.
So, and then that was kind of because I've been reading this news all week about this next game rumored to be Xbox exclusive. But I don't think that everything coming from Kojima Studio is going to be exclusive.
Right. I think it's just this next game.
Right.
And then we're going to see what happens from there. Where are you standing on this point?
I mean, as a game distributor, and I'm sure you guys all agree, exclusivity, as neat as it is, wouldn't it be more profitable to be on every system? Like, why would you tie everything to this one cart when there's a whole bunch of carts that want to carry your product? Yeah, that's like, I mean, it doesn't make sense. And for people to argue about this point, I mean, they're distributors. That's what they have to do. They need to drive their product. They need numbers. They need sales. So if more than one store, if let's say, for instance, they say we're exclusive to Walmart in selling our game, like, so people from Target can't get your game. They got to go to Walmart for it. You know what I mean? You're shooting yourself in the foot. You might as well. I mean, go where the money is. Now, he said that this Xbox game will be exclusive.
That's the rumor, and this is all rumor right now. Because, and it's one of those rumors that we all believe to be true because neither Kojima nor Xbox are saying that it's not true, but they also haven't said that it is true yet. So it's in that's that absolute gray area right now.
Well, I don't want to step on your news toes here, okay?
No, please do.
But I just read recently the Xbox is coming over to Steam. So, and that they're working together to make Xbox's store compatible with Steam now.
And that might be true. That might be true.
And if that's the case, you know what I'm saying? Like, then you're not exclusive. You're moving to more distributors. You're just under a banner.
And that's it. And that's it right there. Like, Xbox, if you're going to say something is coming to Xbox, right, no matter what it is, understand that does include PC. That includes anything that Xbox has Game Pass on. So when you're talking about exclusives, right, and so everything that Microsoft are doing right now is they're trying to get Game Pass any and everywhere it can be, right? So that's the integration into Steam. They're trying to integrate Steam into Game Pass, not into Xbox, right? So what we really should be saying is it's going to be a Game Pass exclusive, right? Because anything that's coming is meant to be coming to Game Pass. Now, Outriders is kind of an outlier for that, whereas they haven't worked out how to, and they're having troubles with this, and I think this has a lot to do with what's going on with Steam. They had a lot of trouble with integrating the EA Pass onto the PC, and so games that aren't Microsoft first party, they're having troubles getting it onto the PC and making that work correctly. So things are coming out later. So right now you'll see that Outriders is on Game Pass. It came out on Game Pass day one, but only for the console because there's some kind of an issue that I don't understand, and so I'm not going to really speak too much on it.
There's no crossplay between PC players and Xbox players?
No, there's crossplay. You can play together, but it's not on the PC Game Pass yet. They're having a problem getting that to work correctly.
Well, I've noticed that on some of the games too with Xbox Game Pass that, and I am assuming it's a licensing thing that certain games are available, like because they give you the three options, yes, where you can do it in the cloud, the console, or the PC, and certain games that are available on the PC aren't available on the cloud, or that are on the console aren't available on the PC.
Right.
And
so they're like, for EA, they got it solved, and what it was like a big problem. Whereas when you do xCloud, when you do EA games through Game Pass, excuse me, on PC, then there's a redirection to EA's store, and so they had a hard time with that whole integration. So that's what's going on with that. And so when we say that Kojima's next game is an Xbox exclusive, nothing is an Xbox console exclusive anymore. It's a Game Pass exclusive. It's meant to go to, and even if it isn't day one, it is just something they're trying to work out, but it's meant to go to anything that you can play Game Pass on. So that includes the consoles, the PC, your phone. It's meant to go to all these places and anywhere else that they can put Game Pass, or they're working on putting Game Pass. So, not trying to start a fight here, and I'm just using this as a way out there example. If for some reason Sony decided that it was financially feasible to have Game Pass on the PlayStation, then those exclusives would also be on PlayStation because Game Pass is there. It's still a Game Pass exclusive, but it would be on PC or on PlayStation because it falls under that. That is the true exclusive umbrella that Microsoft is going for now. Not the console itself, but Game Pass as a service. And that's why I say, and there's something else that I have to clear up a little bit later. That's why I say that the console war is no longer a war. They're not fighting for the same thing anymore. When you have a war, both sides want something very specific, and that's not what's going on. Microsoft is doing one thing, Sony's doing a different thing, but we'll get into that in just a few minutes. But yeah, so Kojima reportedly to be in talks with Xbox or Microsoft. Xbox. It falls under the gaming sphere, so that's another reason why we say Xbox. So yeah. Hey, Dolphin Lover, welcome to the stream. I'm glad you were able to catch this week's episode. That's a friend of mine. So hey, how are you? Next in the news, Twitch starts banning streamers for having unmoderated chat. You guys heard about this?
I have.
Geek? I have not.
Wow, Geek must have really been sick this week if he didn't hear this, because Geek, I thought, would be all over a Twitch thing. So what happened was it's coming out that there have been multiple streamers that had this effect or have had this happen, but a Twitch streamer got in trouble and got permanently banned. And it still stands even to today. I looked it up. He hasn't got it rectified yet. Twitch is banning streamers for things and Geek, this is another reason why I really thought you'd be all over this, for things that people are saying in their chat. Now, Geek and I have had a long time disagreement, not really, but I disagree with his stand on it, where Geek, and correct me if I'm wrong, feels like whatever somebody's saying in your chat, good or bad, is helpful to you, right? You want to explain it, Geek, because it's really your thing.
Okay, so you're rated by the activity of your stream. So your comment count is a thing, is a metric. And so by letting people speak and letting your chat defend the community, your community, it's healthy, right? And now it makes the viewers feel like they have a dog in this race. And so that's always been my position. So even when people have come in and said racial things, I had conversations with my grandparents, and they had dogs sicked on them. My grandfather had a fire hose put on him. And so I'm of the opinion and position that if the worst that you can do to me is throw some racial epithets, I really don't care. It doesn't hurt me. It doesn't put a grain of rice on my plate, nor does it take a grain of rice off. Right. That's my position.
And so whenever I have moderated somebody's stream, I've been very quick to remove anything that is in even the littlest bit controversial, or drop that ban hammer on people who said things that I feel are a lot controversial. And so that's been a disagreement that Geek and I have always have. Well, not or have always had, but now Twitch are banning people, big time streamers, for things that their chat are saying. What have you heard on this point?
Okay, so I've heard of two streamers. I'm gonna put their names out there. It was Nickich and Airsoft Fatty.
I heard Nickich.
Okay. Now, let's be clear. I've looked at their numbers. Neither of them are big-time streamers.
Well, not huge, but bigger than me, I should say. So
they have 52 followers. All right, really? Unless they dropped a bunch of followers within this time.
Yeah, because
some have about 50. One has 32. One has 52.
There must be a big drop, because Nick was making a living out of streaming before this happened.
Well, here's the deal. You're an employee of Twitch, whether you think so or not. You're an employee of Twitch. And as an employee of Twitch, you are held by certain guidelines and standards, and you need to uphold Twitch's name. If you're going to have people in there just talking crazy and you're co-signing on it, that's your job. If I'm at any job, if I'm at McDonald's and I'm co-signing on my customers coming in and acting like I say retard. I don't want to say that R word there.
Look, you're trying to get me banned already.
Yeah, no, I know, right? if I have customers coming in harassing other customers and racial or unsensitive ways, and I co-sign on it, I'm going to lose my job. Yeah. Right. And that's from any position. So, and I've always had this argument with streamers and the streaming companies. With any other job, there is a vetting process, which is the resume, which is the interview. All right. We can interview to see if you are a good fit to work here. With streamers, there's no position like that. Anybody can get in here, anybody can turn on the camera, and anybody can start it. These companies are publicly traded. You come in and you start talking crazy and saying silly stuff, drawing attention to them and making it look like this is a bad atmosphere to be. If I'm Twitch or YouTube or anybody, of course I would put the ban hammer down. And for you to sit back and think that it's wrong, we're violating your free speech. You didn't read the terms of agreements. That's on you. You know? And like I said, they're not vetting employees. They're just letting employees come in. So it's going to happen. So, I mean, the internet's a horrible place. It's a great place, but it is a horrible place. I was streaming for 30 minutes before I got my first racial quote thrown at me for the first time, you know? So again, it sucks to be you. You should be paying attention and you should be taking care of that stuff. Look at the biggest streamers out there. All right. And they control their chats, and there's a reason for it. You know, what's more important? You made a living at Twitch. All right. You're paying a rent with Twitch, and you couldn't protect yourself by just simply moderating, that's on you.
So Evil says that he doesn't allow people to be offensive in his chats, and his mods always deal with them very quickly. And I can even tell you through experience with Evil that he doesn't even allow people to be offensive towards one another in his racing league, right? So he's very careful about that. And his his racing league is private, so it doesn't. We're not even talking about things that go out public. It's just inside of his league in the private chat or whatever between the people racing in his league. He's always been very up on that. I don't know about the other streamer, but the Nick guy, he claims. So I've never watched his stream or what have you, but he claims that he didn't have a moderator. He had a bunch of people in chat, and it got lost. Something got lost in his chat, and he missed it. So, but yeah, I mean, I can't. That's why, has always been my argument to Geekman. Like, you might think people might feel like that's good for their growth or whatever, or what Twitch sees, but it's bad for Twitch. You know what I mean? Like, it's bad for YouTube. And we all remember where YouTube, it looks like you could be able to come back in. We all remember when YouTube had their little thing where they were doing a lot of things to their streamers because it was hurting their revenue with their
advertisers.
All their advertisers, right? So Twitch can be salty and toxic place, and that's true. And I got to be honest with you, on Twitch, I don't remember ever really having an issue personally, but I've been in streams where people just go crazy and just say way out there
crazy stuff. I never opened never opened communications in any multiplayer game off the bat, just because the internet,
Exactly.
But I mean, again, here's the thing about the Nickich guy, and we're gonna go with Airsoft Fatty as well. Like, there's no way this was a first time. Okay, there's no way this was the first time that this happened. This had to have gone on a roll for a bit, and Twitch ended up paying attention and saying, you know what, we're going to give him an opportunity and blah, 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 blah. They probably didn't verbalize that they were giving him the opportunity,
right?
But somebody was paying attention. It wasn't he just missed it. I missed it this one time. Now I'm permabanned. It doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? Otherwise, the stuff that was printed on my own Twitch, you know what I mean, would have been permabanned for me. But there's also bots out there that you can put up that are free that filter this stuff out, or at least can help filter this stuff out. So
I mean, you can have it so that the bots filter the word "the" if you want to. It's just a matter of typing in what words you don't want on your channel. So, I mean, you have to take some responsibility for that, and I don't think, I don't know. I guess if you are in a position, and this is what the Nick guy says, he's in a position to where he's trying to talk to Twitch about it, and they haven't responded yet. But
they don't have to.
You got to remember, there's a ton of people on Twitch that have complaints on a daily basis. It might be a matter of you just have to wait your turn in line or something. I don't know, but
and let's be real about it. We're talking about, and I hate to say this, but we're talking about teenagers, or young adults, who think that they are the world. Nothing else exists except for them and their ecosphere, and Twitch sees that you have 52 followers and you're complaining about being banned for your unmoderated chat, and they're going, we got bigger things to do. Like, do you see the time right now? I gotta order some shawarma. They don't care. I mean, these companies, they're huge. Why are they going to stop? You know, they got people. They literally have people beating down the door to take your place at any second.
For sure. Often Lover VB21 says I need to deliver her a Switch. She calls me a fool because she calls me a fool all the time for some reason. That's kind of cruel, but okay. No. Actually, I'm more than happy to look for you a Switch, but seriously, I think you should wait until after the 16th of June because we're going to find out for sure about the new Switch. I believe it's going to happen later this year or holiday this year, but it's not confirmed yet. But I think after E3 we should know. But if you want me to look right now, I'm more than happy to do that for you. No problem.
Dolphin Lover, I'm going to tell you right now, controller drift is real. I just discovered this. So
controller drift on yours?
Yep. Although dude, my wife was able to fix it. My wife was able to fix it with some rubbing alcohol and a Q-tip trick.
Oh, nice. So 400 hours, guys, for those for those things. 400 hours. Evil Scotsman says, but then the other end of it is Twitch allows borderline porn on their platform and a number of, and so you're right. A lot of people think they can get away with way more than they can because they associate one thing with another thing, and that'll get you hurt.
Well, and then at the same time, let's be fair, Scotsman and everybody is watching right now. Casey Tron's numbers, Nikovich's numbers. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely bringing in a lot of money.
Casey Tron is bringing in a ton of viewers. All right, and I don't even really care for the chick, but you know she's busty and she's doing her thing.
For sure. So we were just talking about E3, so let's go ahead and go with that. E3 starts on June 12th. It has been confirmed. What do you guys think about that? Like,
go ahead,
with E3 being an all digital event again this year, how do you feel about E3, Geek? Because I know we've discussed in the past even wanting to go to E3.
Well, you know, my hopes are still for that in-person experience at some point.
Right.
I'm not looking to rush out there, you know, not trying to get COVID or any of the variants now. It's just sad to me, like that meet and greet of vendors and gamers alike, or just tech enthusiasts, is what E3 is about, not just gaming. I'm saddened by it still being virtual because there are so many other things this year that are going to be in person.
Right.
So I don't know if they should just it's too late now. If they should have pushed the dates back and made it in person, you know, maybe in August, but August in Las Vegas would be brutal. So I don't know.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, I think they're trying to stick with the tradition of E3 and and that's why they're having it in June. And so I don't think that they're willing to make that much of an adjustment with it. I know, like Microsoft said they were going to be there, Ubisoft, a bunch of other places, but PlayStation says they're not going to be there, which to me isn't like really surprising because PlayStation hasn't been to E3 in a couple, maybe 3 years or something. So I'm not surprised that they're not going to be there, especially right now. It must be a lot easier that if E3 is just going to be a digital event, it's just easier to hold your own digital event. And the thing that made E3 really great for PlayStation is that they always set it up. Their live events, they always set it up so they went after Microsoft. So anything Microsoft did, PlayStation could easily adjust, make those simple adjustments to undercut Microsoft, like in price or a launch date or what have you. If it was, like I said, if it was reasonable. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Sony should be there, but they've been a little weird lately.
I think in this COVID era, and it's obviously changed business as we see it. Yeah,
Right.
and E3 and E3 isn't the big thing that it used to be in the 90s. It's still big.
Mhm.
It's still a big event, but it's not the same thing that it was in the 90s, And when you're looking at companies out here that are trying to cut costs, and save money because COVID has impacted their business, you look at E3, how much money they shell out just to have a stall in E3, just to show up and give out business cards at E3. I don't know. I mean, E3 might have been an easy out for them this year. I give them kudos for trying to still show up and still show some normalcy in the way things are done these days.
Right.
But I don't think it was unexpected, especially when you talk about like PlayStation not showing up. I expect a lot of other small vendors to not show up either.
True.
Or just not really showcase a whole lot. I mean, these past couple of years, or at least this past year, we've had to really cut corners to make things work in our society, and it's felt everywhere. And I actually can wonder about the E3 attendance count in comparison to, every other time.
Right.
Just because of COVID and the way that things are sitting in the economy and all that jazz. And I don't want to get all political and things like that, but what's the big announcement this year at E3 that we don't already know?
It has to be games. That's
the systems are out, so it's got to be games this year.
It can only be games. Evil says that the WWE has just done a WrestleMania event with fans this weekend, so surely E3 could have done it. I don't know where, because I don't follow wrestling. I don't know where that event was done, but if it was done in like
Alabama,
the southern states of the United States,
yeah.
or if it could have been done in Europe because they do events over there, then that's going to happen because the southern states, Florida, Texas,
Alabama, Louisiana,
all those states are kind of bucking against what the people or what the experts are saying to do. But E3 is done in Los Angeles, in California. And California is probably one of the strictest states as far as following the guidelines. So they're not going to let an event happen in California. E3, they would have had to move. They would have had to move it for that to be able to take place. So that might have a lot to do with that. I don't know where that event was taking place as far as WrestleMania goes. But if it was in the southern states, it was in Florida. So yeah, that would be it. Like those states are just kind of off the rails right now. And
I would tell you,
not to be political, but they're off.
Yeah, Scotsman. A lot of people from the United States just want to cut Florida off of the bottom of the map and just push it out to the sea, in hopes they figure out the world on their own.
Florida's
literally,
crazy.
Yeah, we literally have a thing called Florida Man. All right, you should look that up on Reddit r/Florida Man.
Not gonna lie, I miss Go Juice for those experiences, because you always reported on the crazy things that Florida guys did. But
yes, yeah. So for them to get together and have a COVID party and lick each other in the mouth and breathe in each other's air, it's not unheard of.
Literally something.
Wait, guys, there was a party in Florida where people were going around spitting in each other's mouth.
I don't doubt it. I didn't need
that. I didn't need that visual right now.
I do not doubt it, and they were probably all doing meth. I mean, like,
I don't know. But I was like, you gotta be doing something, because I'm like, what? No, just not doing that.
Florida Florida is legit our third world country. Them and Alabama, Actually, Alabama is worse. I don't know if you guys know. It's just weird facts that I bring out here, but Alabama was listed by the WHO as having the same problems that most impoverished third world countries have in their states, in the United States. Even though we're supposedly a first world country, they have raw sewage on the ground and all kinds of craziness like that. People having hookworms in their feet.
Yeah,
it's pretty disgusting. They're 50th in education. They're 50th in economy and all kinds of stuff.
I understand we only have 50
states. Yeah.
So. But,
wow.
Yeah.
What do you have to do to get that distinction?
You're dead last. Oh, it's
just crazy, man. Like
dead last with everything.
It's just so rural down there in Alabama. Is that like they are stuck in the past, literally stuck in the past. So with that, let's go on to the Sony mess, as I'm calling it. And J-Law, I'm not trying to be funny here. Sony is in a mess right now.
This dog.
And so let's try to digest all this. So as you may know, Sony is doing some things and their customer base is really mad about it and saying that they are what's the phrase they're using, tone deaf. They're saying that Sony is tone deaf as to what their customers want. So yeah, somebody has to be last, I guess, but man, you don't have to be like lapped last where everybody round the whole track and passed you 7 more times. But
like really in the middle of the screen.
Yeah. That if you feel better or you can figure something out. I don't know. This is crazy. You're right. You're like right there. Like bam. So there you go. What do you guys think about that? If you know anything on it, do you feel like Sony is being tone deaf to their customers? And let me tell you what's going on. Sony has decided that they're just going to focus on their big name titles. They're not going to do. You may know that they're closing like the PS3 store, the Vita store, and the PSP store. So all those games are going away. Sony fans are really mad about it and saying that they're being tone deaf to what they want. Now I'm going to give you my opinion on it, and maybe you guys will have some argument for me, or maybe you'll agree with me. I think Sony is doing exactly what their fans have always indicated to them that they want. At least they're loud fans. They're Sony warriors, as I call them. Some people call them ponies. Whatever you want to say that they are. In that, what is their warriors' argument against the Xbox? Biggest one is Xbox has no games because Xbox has no big first party exclusives. Well, now Sony says they want to focus on first party exclusives for you guys. You guys have been saying that this is something that Xbox does not have, and you're saying that that's what makes Xbox weaker than PlayStation. So now you're getting what you claimed was a big thing. They're saying that there's Xbox is weak or Game Pass is weak because they have all these backward compatible titles, and the big Sony fans say that, well, we don't want to play old games. So now Jim Ryan is getting rid of all your old games. They're cutting off the store because you guys have been very loud in saying you don't want old games. That makes Game Pass weak. And there was one more I had for it, but let's take those two and add in the whole MLB the show debacle where Sony fans are mad that Sony is bringing over or allowing an Xbox or a PlayStation first party title to be not only on Xbox but on Game Pass day one. So Xbox fans are getting this game, the $70 game, for included in their $15 a month. And before anybody says it, I swear to you, you one of you guys messages me one more time and tells me that I'm paying $15 for a month for one game, it makes me want to smack you because it's a stupid thing to say.
It's
dumb.
foolish. Yeah.
Like, if I'm paying $15 a game a month for one game, okay, I'm cool with that. I'll go with your argument. I'm cool with that. That means everything else is free. Okay, so if that's your argument, I pay $15 a month for one game. Everything else I get, through Game Pass is absolutely free. Shut up with that, man. That's stupid. Like, that is not an argument. Don't tell me I'm paying all this money a month for one game. And then if you want to break it down to comparison for what I'm getting for Game Pass and what you get buying games on Sony, okay, so for all I have to do to equal what I do on Sony is and man, this sounds like I'm shilling for Microsoft, and I'm not. That's not me. I want you guys to all play everything, but I've been getting these messages, man. And if you're saying that all I have to do to make my money equal to what I pay for things I get on Sony is buy 2 games or download 2 games a month, right? That's it. If I download 2 games a month, that's my $15 a month or $180 or whatever a year. I'm paid, or I can buy 2 games on Sony, which costs me $70 a piece. So, I'm good. I'm getting my money's worth. Where people say that it's not worth it. And before I'm gonna, you guys say something, and I'm gonna choke that whole pain.
Geek, I'll let you lead this up.
Did you want to put up what I shared?
Okay. I didn't know what it was. Yeah, not yet. We're not there yet. You skipped ahead talking about the Sony Mess.
I don't. Well, then you haven't even fully vetted the whole. They're up in arms about the $70 for the new games.
That's what I want you to do right now. Right now, I'm a little heated over I'm paying $15 a month for one game. I'm a little heated. I need to cool down. I need to take a breath. So you take it, Geek.
Okay, I got you. So again, this is definitely a shot. Any Sony news is always a shot at J-Law. It just is. So
I ain't taking shots at you, Jay. I got no shots for you this time.
Is now, what does he say with Sony wanting to make all new AAA titles $70?
Yeah, inflation's a B. It is what it is,
Making games $70, and to Falchian's credit, about $70 for the same game that we can get on Game Pass, covered under Game Pass. No, I'm not, J-Law. You know I'm not. But how do you feel about that, J-Law? I mean, everybody else is still paying $65, and now you're going to $70 for the same games because they haven't really released those new games yet, the new next generation games. So games that you could still get on PS4 for $59.99, which with tax comes out to that $64 whatever. Now you have to pay $70 base.
I was gonna say, this is a 3-part part problem, or at least what it sounded like to me where you started, Falchion. One, them killing off the old titles or killing off the old content. I mean, let's be real. Nobody can afford servers to have games up from the PS1 era eternally. Yeah. we need to free up the space. You got to cut it loose. And unfortunately, what you're talking about, the PlayStation 3 and the Vita, how old are those consoles? You know, you got to cut them loose at some time. It sucks, but
why aren't you bringing those forward? And that same thing, why aren't you making those playable on the PS5?
Because nobody's playing them. That's the problem. I mean, like
Xbox is doing it. Like there are those people who are into those legacy titles, I guess you would call
sure. I was big into God of War, and I do have them on the PlayStation, but you know, once I look at them on next gen console, and from what I remember back in the day, I'm like, this really doesn't hold my interest the same way, you know? I mean, eventually it's like looking at your art from when you were in kindergarten, right? And you were like, this picture right here was my number one stunner. And now that you're an adult and you redraw that same image and you're going, why did I think that garbage was the Mona Lisa? You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I mean, buy a PlayStation Mini. They'll make another one, I promise. You know, they'll make a PlayStation 3 Mini, and then everybody can go buy one of those. You know, they got to cut it loose at some junction in time. You know, one of the greatest games I remember on the N64 was Tetrasphere, and they never brought it forward to any point.
That is such a shame.
You know, but maybe there's not a call for it. And for these companies, it's all numbers games. Yeah, they got to look at the numbers of what you guys are putting out there. If you guys didn't support PlayStation 3 and Vita and PlayStation 2 and all those games as much as you say you are, then they're going to cut it loose, you know? And I think also, while we're at it, I hate to bring this up again, but I think scalpers have hurt the numbers. You know, these consoles aren't in people's hands. They're sitting in shelves. And all these new games out there that they're releasing, that they're thinking they're going to make their numbers up on, nobody's buying because they can't get a hold of the new systems. Yeah. Right. So it's a numbers game. It sucks, but it sucks for what you think should be the status quo over at Sony. But really, on the second part of this conversation, what you think the status quo for Sony is a really archaic idea. There is no war. Microsoft won. Plain and simple. End of sentence.
Whoa, you went there.
And I'm a PC player. All right, I'm a PC gamer. I firmly believe in Steam and Steam discounts and summer sales and third-party vendors that sell Steam keys. Okay,
right, hold on, just a second. So that everybody understands that this isn't really like you fanboying over Xbox. Yeah. When's the last time you owned an Xbox?
I've owned the Xbox One. Yeah,
okay.
The first Xbox. And you know what I did with the Xbox One? I sold it for a PS2.
The Xbox, the first Xbox, not the Xbox One, the first Xbox.
The first Xbox. I had the first Xbox, right? And then God of War came out on the PS2, and I went and traded my Xbox in over at GameStop for $10 and got me a PS2 and God of War. So
I just wanted it to be clear that you were not an Xbox fan.
Yeah. Microsoft's business model right now is crushing it. And that's from a guy who is super strict on what he spends his money on. All right. And really values where his dollar is going. I mean, come on. They're available on the console, the PC, and the cloud all at the same time. They're cross-compatible with Steam. All right. And they're on their way to go buy Discord. Like, Microsoft won. It is what it is.
All I'm saying is J Law just removed you from
I know
every friend.
He said I'm a fanboy, but I mean, he just said I'm a fanboy. But let's be real. I have the play, and here's the thing. I actually have a PlayStation 4. Yeah, and we also have the subscriber model over there. Shit is confusing, and I'm sorry to bring that up, say those words out there like that, in front of your audience, but their model for how they give you free games and blah blah blah, it's confusing. I have the PlayStation Now and I have the PlayStation Plus. Yeah, but the games are just make it one library and just tell me what I got. You know what I mean? Why am I searching through two different programs? It doesn't make sense. Xbox, everything's right here. Steam, everything is right here.
Is J Law saying I'm the Xbox lover and
it's really PlayStation's fault. I mean, if you really want to argue with somebody, it's PlayStation's fault, especially when you talk about cross compatibility. They are always the problem with cross compatibility. They're the ones that don't want to play well with others. So while PC and Xbox are getting along well together and shaking each other's hands, PlayStation's sitting it out. I just played Sea of Thieves with friends of mine online. I own it on Xbox. They own it on Steam. And we were cross-compatible playing together. All right? But guess who can't come? But guess who can't come and play? PlayStation. You guys could take your ball and go play someplace else.
I mean, granted, MLB, they're looking, or that's going to be cross between everything. That's cool. And there are a couple of other games, but yeah. And Jay, honestly, I'm not ready to declare a winner yet because, but I do see Xbox's model as bringing in more money right now because, and especially with what they're doing, if they're only focusing on big name games, right? Again, Xbox is bringing in, even if we go to the lowest possible price you can pay for Game Pass, which is $1 a month, right? Even at that, and we look at their last numbers, that's $18 million a month, right? Their Xbox is holding up its end, but if you look at PlayStation, and if they're only focusing on big name titles now, and they're cutting out all these old things, in a minute, what are we going to be like? I actually got you right here, J-Law. Yet just yesterday, face to face, we were talking with your cousin who just got a PS5, and he was asking, what does he need to buy on PlayStation? What games do he need to buy for the PS5? And the answer was nothing. They got their free games, right? That's what did we say? It was like 28 free games that you can get on the PS5 right now. And then everything else is just stuff that you can download from or that you bring up from your PS4. So they're not making that money like they need to be. Now, pretty soon they're going to hopefully start rolling out their first party titles, excuse me, which is their big play, right? Sony is trying to sell consoles, right? So they have to make games that are console sellers. Microsoft is trying to sell a service. So they just need to populate that service with games and keep that service at a reasonable price. Again, if you decide that you only want to pay the lowest price for Game Pass, it's $1, and they're making $18 million every month. I don't think Sony can say that right now with what's going on with the systems. Now, Sony, once everything gets back up to speed and they can produce and they can have these systems on the shelves to where anybody can walk into the store at any time and pick one up, that's gonna catch up big time, no doubt. Sony has great exclusives. I cannot deny that. I have no desire to deny that, right? But right now, like I just said, we talked about it yesterday. We told your cousin there's nothing that he needs to buy. All he needed to do to get the best out of a Sony product was to have the PS5. And then so you got all the things that it comes with, but very few games right now. Right now. And that's because they're not in a position to have all these games. Now, yes, Returnal's coming out within a week or two or something, and a lot of people are going to jump on that, but then there's going to be another lull, and that's just it. Like, if you're only producing high quality games, you can't produce those fast enough. Whereas Xbox is like, we'll produce high quality games, we'll buy a bunch of companies to do that so that they can up that production speed, but then at the same time, we'll bring you our great games from our past library that maybe you never checked out. And then I look at Xbox or at Game Pass, and I'm like, man, I would have never paid this $60 for this game. I would have never paid $60 for Outriders. But if it's there sitting for me, if I already paid my $15 this month for Game Pass, and there are games on there that I would at Outriders that I would never thought of to buy, why not check it out? What could it hurt? And then I checked it out with Plank, before it came out, and I enjoyed playing with Plank. And then I checked it out on through Xbox by myself, and because I play a sniper all the time, right? And you can look at this as a thing on me, but the sniper class on that game, you can't play that game by yourself. I'm not strong enough to where, and so I don't know why they had a sniper class for this game, but a sniper is not strong enough, cannot kill enough because the model of that game is to heal, you must kill. Every kill you get, you heal. So a sniper, somebody shooting a bullet, even a bullet every second isn't enough, right? I'm not laying out enough.
That also depends on the classes, because
I
forget which one. One of the classes, every hit heals.
But it's the sniper class, but it's not enough. It's not enough to sustain my life for the damage that you have coming in, when, especially like if you're fighting a boss. If I were fighting a boss one-on-one, like that first boss that to do those fire columns, if you guys remember, if I was fighting that guy one-on-one, I could take him out by myself, no problem, on the hardest level, right? And that's just another thing with me. I like to play it on the hardest level. And Geek will say he makes things hard just for the fact of making it harder. But anyway, so
it is a thing.
But anyways, so that, but with all those enemies, and those enemies continually dropping into the map or whatever, I can't kill fast enough by myself. But when Plank and I did it, I don't remember having any trouble me as a sniper. I don't remember having any trouble taking that guy down. It was relatively easy. Just that adding one more person. Plank plays generally when he plays a tank build, so that is a lifesaver for me. So I don't even know how we got off on that.
I would like to say like one last thing on the topic of the whole Sony situation, which is,
please do, because that's getting back onto.
Yeah. So Sony is giving their titles to their competitor to sell. If that isn't something that's telling about what's going on over at Sony, all right, then you're not paying attention. McDonald's is not giving Burger King the Big Mac. All right. So if that's not something telling about what's going on over at Sony, then you're not paying attention. Sony needs to survive, and I'm not saying that they are in dire needs or dire stress or anything like that. They're a huge company. They have a lot of diversity and things like that. But Microsoft isn't giving their games over to Sony. All right. Sony's giving their games to Microsoft. So one is a clear winner. It is what it is. And if Sony's going to need to survive, Sony needs to survive any way that they can. And if they made an agreement with Microsoft to let them have MLB or whatever have titles out there, then it is what it is. Like, and I hate to say it for the Sony guys and the PlayStation guys. I'm sorry that you feel like you got ripped on the pricing and things like that, but you decided to stick with that model. It is what it is.
So let me help you guys out. It was Major League Baseball's choice to include it on the Xbox. Sony,
which is smart.
Very little to say about that, but let's not pretend that Sony didn't know that was going on. And let me explain to you, because like people are really confused, and I don't know why, but people are really confused on how this Game Pass model is sustainable. A big thing is support your developers, do that, this, that, and the third. So the developers are being supported. So let me explain it to you. Let's use MLB. MLB is a Sony first party title, right? So, but it's not what we call a system seller. Games like God of War, Spider-Man, the Spider-Man series, the Last of Us series, Ghost of Tsushima. These are games that people think to themselves, I have to get a PlayStation because I want to play those games. And they're willing to do that. They are willing to pay $500 for a system to play these games. Baseball isn't that. Baseball is never going to be that. Baseball, I'm sure other countries think it's neat, but in general, it's an American sport.
Boring as hell,
right? And so you got to be a really big baseball fan. So they're not selling. This game isn't a system seller, and they're not selling billions of copies of this game. But what can they do to boost the sale? And this is why, if you watch the video for last week where I just put up a video, because, and I apologize for missing the past 2 weeks, but a lot of stuff happening in real life. This is why I'm saying, like, Sony is going to look at this and figure some things out. So MLB goes to Sony and they're like, we want to put this on Xbox because we want this to be on all systems. We want everybody to play, and we want everybody to be able to play together, and as Xbox and PC as well. So Sony's like, okay, well, we don't want to lose our MLB license to produce this game, to solely produce this game. So, okay, whatever, do it. And then they're like, well, we're going to put it on Game Pass. Why? Because Microsoft will pay all the development cost for this game, right? For MLB, the show. What does that mean? They don't lose any money, right? At the very worst, if this game absolutely tanks, they break even because all the development costs have been paid by Microsoft to put it on Game Pass. And this is one of the things that Microsoft is doing, putting things on Game Pass. If you're a third-party seller, bring your game to Game Pass. We'll pay you the development costs. We're not asking you to make it exclusive to our systems. We just want you to put it on Game Pass and have it here first. We'll pay off all the costs, everything it costs you to make that game. Let's say that's $1 million. Remember, we already established that if everybody was paying the lowest amount that you can pay for Game Pass, it's $1, and they're making $18 or $18 million a month. Remember, most of us are paying $15 a month for this service, so you can do the math on that. But so now all the development costs are paid off. Well, if you still want to play this game on the PC outside of Game Pass or on the PlayStation, you got to pay $70 for the game. Well, all the PlayStation fans that love that game are still going to buy this title. Well, this game has obviously made enough money in the past that they keep making it. So they're still going to make so that's extra profit that they already made, because before, remember, the $60 that they had to pay for this game in the past was paying First, it went to pay off the development costs. Then everything after that was profit. Now they don't have to worry about that. Microsoft already paid that off. So the $70 that everybody's paying now is everybody that buys that game is pure profit. People on play or on PC who don't have Game Pass, they're paying $70 for the game because Sony sets the price of the game and it's $70. People on Xbox who decide that they want to play the game, but decide that a lot of people are listening to Sony fans saying that it's not a good deal. They're paying $70 a month. So already the game is paid off and now they're making money. They're not mad. They're not mad to have that game on Game Pass. It doesn't hurt them to have that game on Game Pass. Now, would that work for, say, Spider-Man or God of War or one of their big first-party titles? No, not really, because that's them leaving too much money, because now people aren't buying the PS5 to play these first-party titles. So that hurts them in the long run. See, so hopefully I've explained this to you. A big party title, first party title for PlayStation, they're making money on the game, as well as these games are system sellers, so people are buying systems to play these games. McLovin will tell you, I'm sure, that he loves Spider-Man. He loves God of War. I know his wife loves The Last of Us. So even if he doesn't like it, and I say that because she told me she enjoys watching him play that game, but I haven't heard him say anything about it. But so these titles are titles that sell systems. But baseball, nobody's gonna, if Sony didn't produce this game, or if Sony only if Sony held this game for themselves, nobody is buying a PS5 to play the baseball game. Not to diss baseball, not saying that it's not a fun sport or whatever. I mean, for some people it's not. I enjoyed playing it as a kid, but yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, this is a sustainable thing for Xbox because all they have to do is pay off a little bit of money to these companies, and they
look. Here. I want to give you a demonstration. All right. Here is gaming developers. Can we have bunnies, please? And Microsoft says, take it. You can have it all.
Okay? No, he went to go get money for that, guys.
Just give me the games. Meanwhile, PlayStation's like, we got $1. It just doesn't work. Not Microsoft money. You don't got Windows money. It is what it is. Come back later when you come play with the big boys.
And there you go. I'm sorry, Geek. I just saw what you said. Geek said he's going to have to sign off soon, and I know you had something to show us and on the development or the developing of the day before. I think that game title and the movie the day after or whatever. I get them all mixed up. So, do you have time for that, Geek? Is he already gone?
I think he is.
No, I didn't leave yet, but I am in the process of setting up the other thing. So okay. I've got to drop out, fellas.
Okay. All right. So we'll get that. We'll get that next week. I apologize, Geek. So hold on to that next week. More developing news on the day before, right?
Yes.
Okay. Apologize for that, Geek.
No problem. I had a couple of games. That Battlefield 6, I was doing updates on all the games we've been following.
Okay, we'll get to that first thing next week because that's really important. And let me show you guys where you can find Geek.
Have a good one, guys.
You too, bro.
Geek is the man, y'all. If y'all don't know, check the man out. He's got credentials for days. All right.
He just needs to take the bomb in the house. But anyways, so yeah, so that's where that comes from. And I think you're honestly going to see small titles that you thought of as Sony titles that they don't really care too much about, and they're expressing it now. They have said we really care about our big titles, and that's what we care about producing right now, and that's what has a lot of people up in arms. You're going to see those on Game Pass on the Xbox
Well, I would
because
say some of the indie titles as well are showing up in Microsoft that I've noticed that were on Steam are
right,
showing up in the Xbox Game Pass, and I haven't seen them on the PlayStation. Maybe I missed them on the
right,
PlayStation Network, but let's talk about their big titles. I know Hollow Knight, Celeste, Dead Cells. These are These are huge indie titles that have shown up in Steam that made huge amounts of money. Your classic Undertale that are also on the Xbox. What is it? Game Pass. Yeah. That I hadn't seen on PlayStation. Maybe I missed it, but um, it's interesting watching these worlds start to blend now. And I think I talked about this months ago with you about seeing the potential as to where Microsoft was going. And now that they're buying up all of these studios, it's going to get harder for the competition. And I don't think that Microsoft looks at Sony as a competition, if you will. And I don't think there really is a competition between the two. I think it's just more of a supplement. You've got this over here, and you can also have this over here. We're not trying to cause beef or anything. It's like Coke and Pepsi. You know what I mean? They're not battling it out. You either got a taste for Coke or you got a taste for Pepsi.
right,
It is what it is. It just dollars and cents wise, I think Microsoft makes, or at least the Game Pass makes more sense than the PlayStation Store.
right,
And I was going to go even further to say that, for the longest time, PCs held dollars and cents, that it was far more, you got far more value for your buck with a PC game than you did with a console exclusive, because you could get the serials on third-party vendors and things like that for cheap, or you have these Steam sales and things like that for cheap. Yeah, but and the consoles couldn't do it. But now that these worlds are starting to blend and starting to come together a little bit more, Xbox's service, the way that it is, it's gonna, or at least Microsoft's service, it's gonna be a force to look at, or a business model to look at, and I think that they are going to start winning. The only thing that I could think of that could possibly step up and give rumbles to would be if Steam reintroduced, I don't say the Steam Link, but that idea of being able to cloud your games across the networks. If they started doing that, then then there's more room. I mean, there's more value there, but I don't see PlayStation having the same value that Game Pass has right now. And I own a PlayStation, and I pay for that service. It just does not have the same value. If I were to look at my numbers, if I were to look at my bank account and say which one of these could go, I would cut PlayStation.
right. And actually, Jay Law called me out on something that I said in my last video, to where there's no console war, right? And he pointed out last generation, and so I didn't make it clear. When I'm saying there's no console war, I'm saying there's no console war this generation. In the past, ever since Microsoft came into this game with the Xbox, they were warring. They were looking for the same thing. They were both looking for console sales, right? The biggest console sales. And so when Microsoft first entered, Sony had it on lock, right? there was nothing they could do. They're the new kid on the block. Come to the PS2, and then at the end of that, enter the Xbox 3, or no, not the end of that. Come the PS3 and the Xbox 360. It was all Microsoft. Remember, for almost until the very last third of that generation, Microsoft and the Xbox 360 were doing a thing. Sony wasn't looking at it from a consumer's point of view. The PS3 cost $600. It wasn't ready, and people weren't ready to pay that back then. It was very hard for developers to develop games for it because of the infrastructure of the PS3, and they weren't ready for that. So Xbox took this big lead. Now, granted, Sony did claw it back, and you have to understand, Sony is the old guy in the game right now. They know what to do. They know where their focus is, while Xbox is still trying to figure it out, because what happened? Next generation, Xbox One wants to be the one, right? That's why it's called the Xbox One. If you didn't know, it's called the Xbox One because it was the one thing in your living room that was supposed to control your entire entertainment.
And while we're at that conversation, I brought this up a while ago back, and you said you weren't sure about it. Yes, the Xbox One and the PS4, you could port the PS4 into the Xbox One. You could plug it into the Xbox One, use it as a media center, and play your PlayStation games through the Xbox One. So it's like you said, it's not a battle. It's not a war. I don't think that console wars is going to be it now. It's going to be content war,
right?
And content battle. Who has got the better business model out there that can provide gaming in all environments, anywhere you want to be, and provide the most titles easily. Ease of use, it's a big thing. Right now, I hate the Xbox phone app. They need to fix that. And the Windows app. They need to fix it. But overall, it's a solid service. Companies need to start emulating it. And the same goes for Steam. Same goes for PlayStation. And any future consoles that we don't know about that may be trying to pop up, or like a Ouya or some silly nonsense. They need to realize. Also, I think that they need to, well, as a small critique, this is more for Steam than it is for the consoles. Steam needs to steer clear of mobile games on their platform. Mobile games have a place, and they're on your device, mobile devices. Stop trying to make mobile games the desktop game. Yeah, I didn't buy. I mean, like, Falchion doesn't own the top of the line PC to play Raid Shadow Legends.
So very true.
Which, by the way, I still own a Steam Link. I can play my Steam games in the living room if I want to. I just
right there.
But yeah.
But, J-Law says that the Xbox has never been better than the PlayStation. Well, I guess that depends on how you look at it, because during the 360 years and the PS3 years, people thought that the Xbox was better until the end, until they made it so that it was easier for developers to produce games for them, and they brought that price down. What is better is subjective, and if you look at it, like I said, Xbox decided that one box was supposed to do everything. That was stupid. That was somebody in charge of Xbox who knew nothing about gaming, was coming at it from a board of directors,
consumer electronics point of view.
And now PlayStation is falling into that again. When they priced the PlayStation at $600, they were looking at how much money can we make. Back then, this time, PS5, if I guarantee you, if PlayStation had to announce first their price, it would have been $600, and it would have been worth it. The PS5 is an excellent system, and I have problems with my PS5. I will tell you openly, I have issues with my PS5 to where I can't put it in sleep mode because it disconnects my controllers every time, and it's a whole big work through to get them to reconnect. Now that's a problem with my PlayStation, not PlayStation's 5's in the overall. Jay will tell you that his PlayStation 5, he can put it in rest mode, no problem, and go on about his business. But in the beginning, before they dropped the patch, he did have a problem with his rest mode as well, to where he was having to like reset his console or something. But this year, this generation, Xbox has decided we don't care about how many boxes we sell, how many consoles we sell. We just want everybody to be on this service. And they're saying, hey, PlayStation fans, you don't have to leave PlayStation. You got a phone, you got a tablet, you got a PC that isn't the best PC, but it can just do a little bit of something. All you need is Game Pass, because you can play Game Pass on all those services, on all those devices as well. So that's where they're looking to make their money, while Xbox or PlayStation is saying, we need you to buy these consoles as we always have. So if they're punching at two different things, they're not punching at each other. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean when I say there's no console war this time. And it is only this time. In the past, there has been a console war. I absolutely agree with you. And I absolutely will agree with you and the facts that in every generation since the Xbox has been out, Sony has won every console war, because they've all, if the war is who sells the most boxes, Sony has always done that. By the end, it has always been Sony. But you guys got to remember, like a lot of you young people don't remember that, you know, they didn't start at the same time. You know, Xbox is playing catch up here, and they haven't quite done it. But if you look at how much each company makes, and it again always been PlayStation, but at the end of this one, it might not be PlayStation, because there's only so many people that are going to buy a console, right? And the lion's share of those people might buy PlayStations, but there's always going to be people paying $1 to $15 a month, depending on what level you get to play on the X, or to play Game Pass. And eventually that money is going to be so much that just selling consoles won't be enough. That's why Sony now has just said, okay, so you can get new games on PlayStation Now, but there are only these 3 brand new games, and you can't do it on if you have a PS5. What sense does that make? I can't. Me having a PS5 is a detriment for me to get the best deal in gaming on the PS that PlayStation offers. How is that? What sense does that make? Right? So it's Borderlands and 2 other games. I'm sorry, I can't just remember them off the top of my head that have gone to the PS Now. So 3 new games, and you can play them. You get them as a part of your subscription to PS Now, which, remember as well, is on par, same as price-wise as Game Pass, but it's all old games. You know, the games that PlayStation people said they didn't want because they don't like old games. But except for these 3 new games, I think one might be Outriders and something else. But it's the zombie motorcycle game. But anyways, so you know, don't think that Sony is not seeing this and trying to figure it out. They are. Remember, even though Sony is the leader and has been throughout all of this, Sony is always making adjustments to fit in with Xbox. If you think about it, remember, it used to be free to play online on Sony, right? That's what we loved about it back in the late PS2, early PS3 days. We could play online for free until Microsoft decided people had to pay for it on Xbox, and then Sony was like, "Dude, we're leaving money on the table. These guys are weaker than we are. These guys are following us. If you're listening to J Law, but they're making all this extra money that we could be making. Let's do what they did." Right? And then all of a sudden you had PS Plus. Now you got to pay, just like Microsoft. They did exactly what Microsoft did. So, they're playing. Don't doubt that they are not looking for a way. And this one isn't directed at you, J Law, because I don't remember you ever saying this to me. But I have had other Sony fans say this to me, and I've seen it online where they're like, Game Pass is not worth the money. I would never do that. I want to own my games. I want to buy my games. Kind of like you, J Law. They did say I'm willing to pay $70 for these games, even though nothing has really changed. Right? They look a little bit better, but the infrastructure and what it costs them to produce these games has not really fundamentally changed. I'm willing to pay the $70 for it, for these games. And now, so when PlayStation comes out with their PlayStation Game Pass or whatever they're going to call it, don't buy it. Don't buy into it, because you already said it's not worth it. You already said that it's not supporting developers, even though it is. I've shown you how, or I've told you how. You're saying that it's not consumer friendly. It is, because you're only paying a little bit of money a month to be able to get all their first party titles guaranteed their first party titles day one as they drop. And think about that on PlayStation. Their first party titles are what? Spider-Man, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn type games, like all these great games. But you guys aren't willing to pay $15 a month for a service like that. That's what you said. That's what is so bad in the minds of these big Sony fans right now, as far as Xbox goes. And it's all about a war that only these fans are having with one another. It has nothing to do with Xbox or PlayStation. They couldn't care less. And for those of you who have said online that Jim Ryan doesn't care about his fans, he only cares about making money, and that comes as a surprise to you, like, honestly, you think this dude is sitting at home in his mansion thinking about you and what you think about what you should pay and this, that, and the third, and where his game should go, when his whole job, he is beholden to shareholders, and all they did, the thing that they did is they invested money in this company so that they could make more money off of this company, and it is his sole job to make sure that happens. He doesn't care about gamers. He doesn't even care about gaming. He's not a gamer, right? That goes for what happened with the dude before Phil Spencer. That guy wasn't a gamer, and so his ideas didn't sit well with gamers. They had to go out and hire somebody. Xbox did. They had to hire somebody to run that company, that part of the company, who was a gamer, who understood, but has to also still understand that they have shareholders and they got to make. I'm not telling you that Phil Spencer cares about Xbox gamers. He doesn't. He cares about making money, but his unique situation allows him as a gamer to say, hey, as a gamer, this is going to make maybe a little bit less money for that in the beginning, but in the long run, if we do this, it's going to make a lot more money, because it's going to appease the gamers. We're going to pay more, which is going to be putting more money into your pocket. And Jim Ryan, unfortunately, is not thinking on those levels. He's thinking on the levels as of, okay, we need to do this, that, and that, a third, and these gamers are gamers, PlayStation fanboys, but he's not seeing that. He's just seeing and hearing the loudest people are saying, this is bad about Xbox, that's bad about the Xbox, and that's bad about Xbox. Let's do let's give them what they want. But I'm telling you, gamers don't know what they want because they don't understand the business side of it. And then it is until they start looking at both the gaming side and the business side that things are going to make sense. So right now, he's screwing up, but it is what the loudest PlayStation fans have been shouting, and he's listening to that. And now you guys are saying that he's doing things that is not pleasing to you, but he's doing exactly what he's heard you screaming about all this time. So you can't really be mad at him about it. It's signing petitions to have him fired.
Look,
It's
y'all
not.
had Faucion holding on to this information for quite some time. He had a lot to say about it. He was very passionate about this. If
I'm
you
not a
don't
passionate person.
realize right now what this man is talking about, then y'all just stuck in an empty room, just beating your head across the wall. All right.
I need it all to succeed, or
Yeah.
I can't succeed. And my channel is about all gaming. I can't succeed in what I'm trying to do unless all of it succeeds. PlayStation, PC, Nintendo, Xbox, even these little things like Steam Link or whatever. I have all this stuff because I want it to succeed. I remember
Monopolies are bad. We need diversity,
Yes.
and so, it's good to have fresh eyes over at Sony. It's good to have fresh eyes over at Microsoft. It's good to have fresh eyes over at Valve and Steam. So, without that, innovation isn't possible. So, hopefully Sony. I don't want to say sees the errors of the way because they're not. It's not a matter of seeing errors of their ways. I hope that Sony stays strong, continues to deliver a good product and good content out there that people are interested. And I'm talking to you right now. Excuse me, from a Sony monitor or looking at through a Sony monitor. So Sony's going to be all right. And
they're not hurting for money. Don't
guys,
get it.
You give them the opportunity. I think they're going to continue to keep you smiling, continue to keep you happy. But just know that on the foreseeable future right now, the business model is going to change. And that's the one thing about, all walks of life. Change is never easy. And it's always a difficult process and a learning process. So, hopefully Sony can see some of these things and change along with it and roll with the punches and figure things out. I would love to see Sony games on PC, and make a better setup to play the games on PC. Like right now, I think you can only stream from the console to the PC. And I tried that and I really didn't enjoy the experience that much. It's not the same as you would be streaming from the cloud or anything, but I think they have that opportunity. They just need to consolidate what they have right now, which is unfortunately going to be cutting loose a bunch of old stuff. And if you guys want that stuff, then they can make a mini version. Which, by the way, let's talk about mini version. I really wanted the Neo Geo Mini. Yeah, you know how much that thing goes for? It was sold on Amazon for $100. It came with 55 games, I think. Or no, it was more because it had more games than any of the other minis did. All right, that thing sells for $1,000,
dude. I remember when I had the Neo Geo. Every game for the Neo Geo was $300.
Yes,
a game.
Yeah, there's a game sitting out there right now. I was watching a video on it. There's a game out there for the Neo Geo that is every bit of $1,500 to get a hold of on the market.
I'm telling you.
So
yeah,
but
dude,
they'll make a mini out there for something,
Yeah, and I see what you did, J Law. I see what you did. It's after 8:00. It's almost 8:30, so I missed my play spot on the golf tournament. I see what you did. You put all this stuff up here and got me all hyped and kept me talking. But that's cool. That's cool. We got another one coming up this week. I'm gonna bust you. I'm on
Steam right now, and guess what the #1 banner is on Steam right now?
What's that?
Xbox Game Studio Publisher Sale. That's the top banner on my Steam right now. So yeah, PlayStation needs to get on board.
Yeah. Sony, don't keep your games to yourself like that, man. Like,
Yeah, man.
everybody wants to
Share.
play them. Everybody wants to play.
Yeah,
Share your
everybody
toys. Share your toys.
Yeah,
What'd your mom
man.
tell you when you were growing up? You know,
Come
don't just
play
grab
with
your
us.
ball.
Come
Exactly.
play with us. We want to play with you guys. You know, you don't have to
J-Log
sit
gonna
over
call
there
me
in the
a-
corner and eat boogers. Come play with us.
That's nasty.
Bunch of paste eaters. Anyway.
Over's glue. Oh man. But that's all right, Sony. You do what you want to do. I'm always gonna have a PlayStation anyway. So
Yeah.
do what you want to do. But you're cutting out a lot of people who don't think like me. Yes, I think I could have beat both of y'all. That's all right. That's all right. He said he was gonna do another one midweek this week. So we'll see. We'll see what's up.
Window lickers.
But yeah, man, it's been like 2 hours. So
Legit, you were hyped on this, boy.
Like, I'm mad. I'm mad because I keep getting messages from people, and people are saying all this craziness. Man, I'm just trying to get you guys to understand.
I need you guys to come into the comment section. All you people messaging Falchion, come into the comment section and have this conversation with the rest of the general public, so we can all talk about this and then bring everybody together. Falchion does have all the answers for everything most of the time, and he's very reasonable. But maybe you want to hear a chaotic side from me, or maybe another side from Geek. You know?
I've been told that only J Law is on their side. Like, that's like in different Discord channels that I'm in, people have said to me only J Law is on the side of PlayStation and podcasts, and I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, a Discord community, that'd be nice. At the same time, I wanted to ask you about J Law's house. Does he have a fence?
No.
You better watch out for those gigas.
Dang. He said you didn't learn from not putting a fence around your base in Ark. Now you didn't put a fence around your house in real life. Gigas exist.
Yes.
They're coming for you. Actually,
that was my first thought when you said you went to his house. I was like, does he have a fence?
I was sitting in his living room and I'm looking out his window and there's a fence back there. And so I'm like, oh, he's got a fence. And I was talking to my wife and she was like, and I was like, but like my dog would never fence my dog in because my dog can jump really high, right? And she was like, but J-Law has a small dog and she's just a puppy now. She's the cutest little thing, I swear. But my wife was like, well, she would never be able to get out of that fence. And I was like, well, she could just walk under it. And she's like, my wife's like, no, there's chicken wire there. And so J-Law, as I'm leaving, he's like, come in the backyard. I want to show you some stuff. I go in the backyard and no, he doesn't really have a fence. There's a fence there, but that fence is just blocking. It's fenced around a pond that happens to back up to his property. So there's no fence at all. So yeah, Jay, you want me to come up there and help you build a fence, man? Because I will. Cause I want the gigas to get you. I think your house is too nice. But yeah, Evil, you might be right. Maybe we do need a Discord for the community. I'm not good at that stuff. Like, Evil is the master of like 15 different
communities
for real. Like, he's got a lot. I'm looking at him right now, actually. But yeah, maybe that's something that I need to look into, because
something to the future, you know.
I would love to have people having these conversations.
Well, I'm supposed to remind you, Falchion, to let people know how to find us and stuff like that.
All right, well, do your thing. Tell them where to find you.
Oh, me? You want me to tell you where to find me?
Yeah.
Twitch Twitch TV /PlankGJE. You can also find me on Twitter at Plank101. I think also on Instagram at Plank 101, I put up a lot of silly pictures and pictures of my foods and products. Yeah, or if you want to listen to any of our old podcast recordings, you can with Falchion included. You can look us up at the Go Juice Extravaganza. I think you can still do a search for that on Google and instantly find it. If not, it's on Anchor, anchor.fm. I think that's the website.
If you want to hear more about Florida, go check those out. Talk about Florida a lot.
And Falchion, you're supposed to tell them where to find Geek and all that jazz.
Well, luckily for him, creeping out all early, have his stuff. So Geek is on the Xbox. He's GKMSTR space NYC on the PlayStation, Twitch, and Steam. Discord. He's GKMSTR just playing, and on PlayStation, he's Geekmaster NYC as one word, all spelled out. If you're looking for me, you can find me on the PlayStation, Steam, and Twitch as Falchion757. On the Xbox, I'm Falchion Space GSA, and here on YouTube, just us here at Borderless Gaming GSA. Come hang out. If you want to, feel free to subscribe. Let you know whenever we're doing these things. We got Plank's video coming out tomorrow from his he got a knife, and it's he got a knife, right?
It's he's as in he.
Okay.
He's got a
okay.
knife.
So like somebody, it must have been Geek, put he got a knife, and I was like, man, that is so grammatically incorrect.
You know, I thought about getting business cards, but I thought it would be kind of scary if I was giving out business cards to people and it's like he's got a knife and they would think as a threat. But it's he's got a knife, and I think my next episode, this episode I did Poke, and the next episode I'm doing Falchion's request for Sissig.
Nice.
So, and then after that, I actually have another one already planned out, which I've already started. I already bought the product for, and I think you guys are going to really like. It's going to be primo stuff, and it's healthy, and it may be stuff that you've never heard of or seen before. It's not just standard hamburgers and mac and cheese, you know. I'm trying to in the future see if I can get my Asian grocer to let me come in with the camera and walk around his store. But we'll see about that. I just started chatting him up lately. He's like, wow, you like Sissig? And I'm like, yeah, I like Sissig. You like Laab? I'm like, yeah. He's like, are you Filipino? I'm like, no.
Yes. That's a whole we probably need the cooking talk show too. J Law says Later Fellas, great show. By the way, he doesn't care about Xbox or PlayStation, what they do or doesn't do to each other. He just enjoys the PS5. And let me for a minute take a moment of seriousness. He really doesn't. He's not a fanboy like that. He teases me about it because I play Xbox. But it's just a thing that was something that we tease about that grew into him being a fanboy.
J-Law, I will say that I saw Falchion on the PlayStation Network playing Spider-Man the other day.
Yes, so, I was.
He did pop up on PlayStation.
And I got that golf tourney that I missed this week's play of because J-Law decided to keep me talking. But that's cool. That's cool. But no, J-Law, he even had an Xbox for a while, not too long, or it's been a lot of years actually, when I think about it. But so he's really not. That's not really him. So Evil says that J-Law, that's what we are all here for, and we all love gaming no matter what system we use.
That's right.
And it's just the truth. And see, it's things like this, Jay. Reluctantly he played. Reluctantly I played. I enjoy Spider-Man. I man, the story, the end, Aunt May, got me in the feels. I won't say more about it than that, but it got me.
Do they have Miles?
That's the next game that I need to play. I just finished the original one, but yeah, Miles is in that one as well, and he was working with Aunt May, and they were doing their thing, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but things happen, and Miles happened, and yeah, so yeah, and Evil says just ask Faustin show, really. My all right, so let me explain this. So when the Xbox One came out, you know, we were all happy to get all these little extras that we all got with our Xboxes. That was during the Xbox One. But over in Scotland, they got one extra thing, and it was a cool Xbox sticker. It was a nice Xbox sticker, and I didn't get one. Like the US didn't get it. So it was only over in Europe, I guess. So, yeah, thanks for that, Evil. Now it got me having to explain silly stuff. But, yeah. Be sure to check Blink out, though. Again, it's all about gaming and gamers here. And dogs that walk around in the background for no reason. But, yeah, so you got anything else for the people?
Drink water. Stay hydrated. Eat healthy.
I'm going to say to you, Evil, you need to try some iced tea, buddy.
Oh, yes. Nice. Get yourself, as the Southerners say, some sweet tea.
It's a delicious thing. I hate iced tea over there.
Get some sweet tea.
But, yeah, for playing, this has been Faustin. I want to thank you guys once again for hanging out with us for these couple of hours. And until next time, you know me, I'm Ghost. 2 fingers is peace. Later. Tried to get this last thing in. Evil say. Later, guys.
Late.